in, welcome, come in. There's a place for you at the table. Come in, welcome, come in. There's a place for you at my table. You can bring your sadness. You can bring your joy. You can bring your pain, your hopes, your fears. We accept all of you. All of you is welcome here, so come in. Welcome, friends, on this journey of grief and reclamation, where we'll invite some movement and sound and story and song and silence so that we can dance together at the wild edges of sorrow and to uplift with tenderness this melancholy thread that weaves its way through all that we hold dear. I'm going to offer you some words before we go into the practice for today. And these words are paraphrased from Jungian psychotherapist Francis Weller from his book, The Wild Edges of Sorrow. So grief is the threshold between love and loss. And thresholds are holy places, they're sacred places of vulnerability. And author and poet and American Buddhist teacher Stephen Levine also poignantly suggests that when we can't protect ourselves anymore, only mercy remains. When we can't protect ourselves anymore, only mercy remains. And grief is the threshold between love and loss, and thresholds are sacred places of vulnerability where we can't protect ourselves anymore and only mercy remains. And playwright and poet Oscar Wilde invites us to remember that where there is sorrow, there is also holy ground. And so coming into presence of the holy requires an approach of reverence, a profound and respectful sense of tenderness and awe in the presence of a mighty teacher. It says Mirabai Star, tragedy and sorrow can accomplish in a single moment what years of sitting on a meditation cushion may never yield. An unequivocal surrendering into the arms of mystery. Tragedy and sorrow can accomplish in a single moment what years on a meditation cushion may never accomplish. An unequivocal surrender into the arms of mystery. And like all masterful teachers, grief causes us to become stripped of everything that we think we know. We become undone. And it's in surrendering into this unknowableness that we become intimate with our interiority. And grief can elicit a trauma response. We are powerless over grief, and powerlessness can elicit a trauma response. And so it's common to experience numbness and shock in the presence of such a mighty teacher, especially if their arrival is unannounced and unanticipated. It's natural that we become disoriented in the face of overwhelming tragedies. The threat of nuclear war, 4 million Ukrainians seeking refuge, the fall of Afghanistan, climate crisis, wildfires, George Floyd, anti-Asian hate, the challenges to democracy. Traumatic grief is real and needs to be named. Numbness and shock and disorientation are trauma responses to grief. And to perhaps hold some reverence for a mighty teacher. There's a place for you at the table, so come in, please come in. Today's practice will be a gentle practice of meeting the numbness and shock and disorientation with reverence. So I invite you to grab a cushion or a stuffy or a pillow or a rolled up blanket or a towel. You can also roll up some clothing. And to just have that handy, because we'll draw upon something to squeeze during today's practice. So knowing that numbness and shock and disorientation are natural responses to overwhelming circumstances, please know that as you begin to come into contact with this present moment in your body, feelings and sensations may come up. So if it's physical pain, back away. If it's emotional pain, see if you can pause and breathe and perhaps invite in some reverence and some curiosity. I hope to be able to gently move you between resource and activation, and resource and activation. And I'll be incorporating practices from primitive reflex integration, from acupressure, from vagus nerve practices, as well as movement for trauma. Yeah. Resource allows us to move towards constriction or activation, and to be able to shift us back into resource when it feels a little bit too much. Yeah. Please take care of yourself. Everything that I offer is an invitation. However it is that you participate in the ways that you are able to from moment to moment is perfectly fine. Grief is a form of prayer, and each person expresses grief, prayer and praying very differently. Yeah. So I'm going to play some music. And I'm going to begin by inviting you to connect to sounds on the exhale. Breathe in. Out breath, make a sound, any sound. Even a soundless sound. See, animals in nature that are feeling unsafe make no sounds. And so by making sounds, we're giving the message to our nervous system that we're safe, that it's okay to take up some space in this world, that it's okay for our grief to take up some space in this world. It can be whoosh, or the F breath. Could be sighing. It can be vowel sound. Or soundless sounds. And if you like, I invite you to look out the window towards the horizon, or to look through the wall to the imaginary horizon. As Stone Age children, whenever we get lost, disoriented, we look to the horizons and we look to the heavens so that we can regain a sense of our place in the universe. So I invite you to look to your horizons. To look to the heavens, the sky above. And if it's helpful to you, I invite you to rock and sway if you like. And to look out the window or to the horizon and to make sounds if you like. And if it's okay with you, check in with your heart. How is your heart today, in this moment? I invite you to invite in an image of your loved one smiling at you with love, or an image of the earth, or of whatever your heart is heavy over. And if it feels okay with you, I invite you to cup your hands over your mouth, like as if you're whispering a love letter, the name of the person whom you are grieving, to name what your heart is heavy over, to name that which has been taken that should not have been taken, that which was given that should not have been given. Kelsey. Alright. War. My childhood. And then if it feels okay with you, I invite you to take this love letter in your cupped hands and to place it, press it against your torso center. Rock, sway, press. Horizon, sky, sounds, rock, sway, press, horizon, sky, sounds, and perhaps a gentle emergence of very, very slow cats and cows. A gentle unfurling of the spine. A lifting towards the sky. Taking as many, many breaths as you like. Perhaps a little pause at the top before you slowly, slowly make your way through the rocking and swaying, through the horizon, towards the earth. And perhaps a gentle curl inwards perhaps an extra breath or two as your hands press, to attend to your grief like a precious guest, and to allow your head to bow to your hands pressing on your torso. When we can't protect ourselves anymore, only mercy remains. Lift, lengthen, sky. When we can't protect ourselves anymore, only mercy remains. If you like, I invite you to bring one ear towards one shoulder. And then to allow the chin towards the chest. And then the other ear towards the other shoulder. Chin to chest. Ear to shoulder. Perhaps some gentle rocking and swaying as your head gently circles from side to side. Perhaps some sounds. Perhaps wiggling your toes. Pressing feet. Perhaps the circles start to become a little bigger. Perhaps some gentle rocking that becomes larger. And in your own time, perhaps a twist, right hand, left knee, lengthen, twist. Back to center, left hand, right knee, twist. Your space. And if you like, you can imagine an imaginary butterfly that catches your eyes, and if it feels okay with you, I invite you to allow your eyes to follow this imaginary butterfly. Allow your head and neck to trace and track this imaginary butterfly. And maybe perhaps your torso leans in towards this butterfly that makes its way around your space. I I invite you now, if it feels okay with you, to reach your hands for opposite shoulders. There's an acupressure point about 6 inches above the elbow crease at the bottom of the bicep. And this acupressure point reflexively causes you to breathe. So if you like, you may wish to gently squeeze your biceps, to gently squeeze in this area around this acupressure point. And if you like, you may wish to squeeze your way down to your forearms. And if you like, I invite you to intentionally squeeze one forearm at a time, from elbow to wrist, and then from wrist back down to the elbow. And then if you like, to switch sides, elbow to wrist, and back to elbow. With just the right amount of pressure for you. If you like, you can press your thumb into the middle of the other hand and to massage into the center of that hand and to switch. And then if it feels okay with you, because you can linger here, if this is what feels right for you in this moment. However, if it feels okay with you, I invite you to massage your head. And this can be long strokes with the fingers. It can be circular motions. It can be fingernails, or it can be a gentle pulling of the hair. Noticing what feels good for you. Perhaps you may wish to place some pressure on the rooster crest. At the top of the head. So the acupressure points at the rooster crest alleviates stress and can bring a sense of wellness. I invite you to massage the forehead. It can be vertical or horizontal. Massage the temples to make your way down to the cheeks and the cheekbones. If you like, you can gently pull on the ears in all directions and release the jaw. Making sounds if that feels okay for you. If you have low blood pressure, skip this next one. Yeah. This reduces blood pressure and can bring well-being to a stressed out nervous system. But if you have low blood pressure, feel free to skip this one. It It's gently pressing against your eyes with your two fingers, index and middle, with just the right amount of pressure. For 3, 2, and 1. Release. Pause. Rock. Sway. Press. And if you like, I invite you to grab your stuffy or that towel or rolled up blanket. And we're going to offer some compression to this area around the collarbones, the top of the sternum. So if you like, I invite you to hold your stuffy in such a way that you're able to press through the heels of your hands into your sternum and to round your shoulders forward and bring your head forward and to press your chin down into your stuffy as you bring your shoulders up and squeeze as you press in. Perhaps squeezing your face and lengthening the torso. And easy does it, release. Sounds are okay with the exhale. Just pause to allow a few breaths here. To rock and sway. Feels okay with you. I invite you to keep a hand at torso center and to perhaps extend out the other arm, exploring your peri-personal space. And then to bring that arm back in. And then with the other arm, explore very personal space. Space in front of you, behind you and beside you and above you. Switching as it feels appropriate for you. Perhaps incorporating some rocking or swaying or making of sounds. Perhaps you'd like to come back to the squeeze. Before extending some more. If you like, you can bring your hands back to your heart and check back in. How is your heart? And if you like, I invite you to cup your hands over your mouth once again and to offer a message to yourself, to the reverent guest or guests whom we've invited to sit with us today. Thank you. I miss you. Teach me. Forgive me. I'm sorry I'm going through this. Thank you. Maybe perhaps you'd like to place your hands back to torso center. To rock, sway. I thank you all for your willingness to be present as you are able to in your own lives. I'm just going to take a few breaths and allow for some silence in community. I have a comment in regards to a comment, and thank you for all of those of you who are commenting. I actually recognize your names because I attune to faces when we're in the face-to-face Zoom experiences. You know, the touching of the head can elicit such responses of mercy. I know that for many of us who come from cultures where it's rude to have someone touch your head other than when you're an infant. And so when you're an infant, all of our ancestors are touching our heads, right? When we're being cradled, yeah, there's someone holding my head. Yeah. And in my culture, it's so common for elder ones, and it doesn't really matter how much elder to touch the heads of infants and babies and children. Next week we have releasing the armor that imprisons the breath and the voice. For many of us, we're inhibited around our expressions of grief because the breath stays constricted because of the constrictions in our diaphragm. And then we become scared to breathe and scared to grieve. Yeah. And so a little shift in the diaphragm can allow us to then lean towards grief in ways that can make it more accessible rather than scary.